If you work with Excel spreadsheets, you're sure to come across dates and times in your data. In this short screencast, I'll teach you how to input dates and times into your spreadsheets and also how to format them. On the first tab of this workbook, let's look at how to correctly log dates and times in Microsoft Excel. In the Typing Dates column here, I'll show you a couple of options for typing dates. So, the first way that I'm going to do it is in the style of American dates, which is the month, /the day, /the year. When I press enter, it's logged to our spreadsheet. This is the way that I like to log my date data. Now, if your system settings are for another region's date styles, log it that way. Excel will kind of default to whatever your system preferences are. Basically, Excel is also going to assume that the dates are in the current year, and we'll need to specify otherwise if we need to. In the next box, we'll simply type a plain English day, such as January 22. Now notice that when I press enter, Excel has converted that automatically to a date if you look at the format bar. It's formatted it a bit differently, but the data is the same. More on formatting soon. Now on the Typing Times column, let's write some different times. The simplest way to write a general time is to just put in the hour and then the AM and PM after it. I'll start off by just typing 3 and then a space and then PM. When I press enter, Excel cleans it up a bit and adds the minutes after it, which it guesses are just 0, so basically 3 PM exactly. In the formula bar, it actually behind the scenes has an hour, minute, and seconds added to the data. Next up, let's type a very specific time. I'll type one with an hour, then a minute, and a seconds value, each separated by colons. Then I'll add a space and add AM in this case. Now we've captured a highly detailed timestamp, which will probably come in handy for you at some point. Last thing, we'll just add a time, but this time in a 24-hour format. For example, 14 o'clock would correspond to 2 p.m. in a 24-hour format. I'll type a value in 24-hour format and press enter. Excel automatically converts it back to more friendly formatting by default. Let's go ahead and switch tabs here and let's take a look at using cell formatting to adjust this manually. In the example spreadsheet that I'm working with here, you can see that I've got a date logged here that I want to reformat. I want to see this date in a different style without changing the original data. To do that, I'll click on the cell that contains a date. Now I'll make sure that I'm on the Home tab of Excel's ribbon and find the Numbers section. There's this little arrow to the lower right of the section, and I'll click on it to open the Format Cells menu. This window is really powerful. It allows us to change the presentation of data in Excel without having to change the original data itself. The first thing that I'll do is click on Date on the left side to open the Date formatting options. This list of options here in the center are different styles that we can apply to a date. If I click on this option, for example, you can see how our date will be restyled. I'll go ahead and press OK, and now it's updated the format for the date. Notice in the formula bar, though, that the original data is unchanged. I could pick another date, and now let's return to the same menu. And I could choose a different style and press OK, and now it's updated as well. Keep in mind, all of this data is exactly the same, it's just formatted differently. Last up, we'll take a look at formatting times, which is very similar. I'll click on this 4:13 p.m. and return to the same menu. Notice on the category menu, we'll select time for this data. This menu on the left side is basically like presets for how to format data. And just like we have for dates, we have a list of options for formatting time. I'll choose one and press OK, and you'll see how we've changed the time in our spreadsheet. That's about it. We've finished inputting and formatting our dates and times. Keep reading the tutorial and using this workbook to find out how to calculate the difference between dates. I'm Andrew Childers for Tuts Plus, and thanks for joining me.